Walks like a duck.
Yeah.
Walks like a duck.
Absolutely, it's a duck. It's not an elephant.
Hello, Ahmad.
Hello, Barat. My journey has not ended. It started the day I left Syria. He showed me the picture. I was fascinated. It was like a 5-star yacht with a jacuzzi inside, with a proper kitchen inside the boat. I said, oh my God, yes. We were surprised because the promise was 24 people. We ended up with over 88 people.
Oh.
It was packed. Everybody was arrested. It was, one of the most scariest moments, since I left Syria. There was no air. It was really hard.
Many people have lots of stereotypes about refugees. That's why the best person to speak about refugee is a refugee themselves.
So we started to open up to each other about our struggles and issues that we tried to ignore when we first arrived in this country.
We hope you like it. We are very keen and enthusiastic to hear your feedback. Enjoy watching.
Hello, Ahmad.
Hello, Barat.
I attended quite a lot of your talks and presentations about raising awareness about the refugees, and I was fascinated to see how resilient, and again going back to that word, your journey and how difficult it was and how you overcame it. Do you mind sharing some of your journey with us?
My journey has not ended. It started the day I left Syria. Late 2012, early 2013, when the attack happened first in Aleppo, in my town. I was living a normal life, an easy life. I was about to graduate as an English teacher. I had my students, and then the attack happened, and I did not want to get involved, in the armed, this armed conflict. I wanted to make it, keep it kind of civilian, civic resistance, but at that time was almost impossible. I literally had to flee without my documentation, without my papers, without my degree, without even some without saying goodbye to my family members, because it just happened. And I moved to Iraqi Kurdistan not knowing what to do, without money. It was really hard. Then even in Iraqi Kurdistan, I still did not have a clear vision. You don't have the luxury of sitting, having a calendar or a planner in front of you as you're like, this month I'm going to do this month I'm going to do that, because you're surviving day to day. Every day is a struggle. You don't plan ahead for a month or a week, because you're really struggling for the very, very basics. You're struggling for food, you're looking for shelter. Now obviously with time, with me getting a job and literally being kind of financially stable, I started to plan ahead. At that time I was a father. My girl was almost a year. I haven't seen her, I never met her, and it was really difficult. I am a father and I'm really worried about myself. I'm worried about the future of my family. I want to have a better future for my girl. And especially I was living, and working in many refugee camps in Iraqi Kurdistan. I saw the hardships, I saw the challenges, I saw the thousands of these children missing out on education, really living in some of the most appalling situations in refugee camps and in these urban, settlements, with poverty, lots of hardships. And that's why I decided I need to move on. And I decided, the UK. And the journey started from Turkey. So going to Turkey, meeting smugglers. At that time in 2015, it was a full kind of structured business for smugglers and human traffickers, smuggle people from the Middle East or from Turkey to Greece or to Europe. So I remember the first days. This was almost over 4 years ago. We went to a smuggler in the city of Izmir in Turkey, and we told him I want to go to the UK. He said, right, I'll get you to the UK. It's quite easy. Have you got £15,000? Well, this is crazy. I can't afford that. You're asking me for the moon, and I really can't afford that.
I've already sold one kidney, so I can't sell another one.
I know. I know some people literally, who sold their kidneys, and then people who sold their houses and everything, in order to be able, to afford this. So I couldn't afford it. So I went back and met another smuggler. He was a Syrian smuggler. He was a kind of, a broker working with another kind of, the headmaster or something. very big. But they're kind of this kind of, you know, young people, brokers going here and there, kind of collecting all these people who want to travel. So I met him and I said like, okay, I want to go to Greece. And he said, right. He started showing me the pictures, you know, of a yacht, a very fancy boat.
A sample of his work.
Oh yes, it's the best sample of his work. It's like, and
Was it digital or printed?
No, it was a digital one. You know, there's a high tech. I told like there's a proper business of, you know, iPads, of taxis, of buses, of hotels, of restaurants, like a proper chain, you know, for these smugglers.
Positive reviews from previous clients.
Of course, you can see this.
Verified ones on that.
Absolutely. Like, I'm not exaggerating. In 2015, there were hundreds, probably thousands of Facebook groups promoting these journeys. So they go like, you know, like you got this journey from this, they will get you from point A to B, you know, it goes to this, and they will have, you know, a footnote there just at the end of the post saying like, if you're a Syrian, if you're an Iraqi, you have 20% discount because of the troubles in your country. So it's like a proper kind of, you know, business. So
what if you're from a country that has no war? Can you guarantee, listen, after 2 months there's a war guaranteed in my country? Get the discount. But Ahmed, how do you choose between all those smugglers? There are hundreds of them. Do they go by the leaflets? Do you go by recommendation of a friend?
Mostly was recommendation of a friend. At that time you had hundreds of these Facebook groups. You go and read lots of also people commenting, you know, like different Facebook groups of people talking about their journey, their experiences, and, you know, warning you against this smuggler or that smuggler, sharing numbers, sharing phone numbers, WhatsApp groups, sometimes emails, you know, and Skype, and also for me, like, was listening to other people and reading, you know, making a proper research. And eventually I decided to go with one person because I knew two friends who made the journey through him, and they made it successful. So I spoke to one of them. He said, right, I get you to Greece. I said, yeah, why not? He showed me the picture. I was fascinated by the pictures. It was like a 5-star boat with, you know, with a jacuzzi inside, you know, with a proper kitchen inside the boat. And I was amazed. I said, oh my God, yes. So he said it will cost you 1,500 euros, you know, for the crossing. I said, great, no problem. Obviously, he did not trust me. We did not trust him. So the money had to go to a third party person, which is what they call it al-maktab, which is the office. You give them your name, you give them the money, and they give you a secret 4-digit. When you make it to the final destination, you call them and you give them this digit, then he hands over the money to the smuggler. And it happened to me, you know, I gave him the money, he gave me the secret digit, you know, I called the smuggler, I said, look, the money is now being deposited. You can call them to make sure that money is there. And the day came, we were driven in a bus to a nearby beach, mid of the night. We were surprised because the promise was 24 people. We ended up with over 88 people.
Oh.
And over half of them were women and children. And it was a rubber dinghy. It was not even, you know, that fancy yacht. It was terrible. And we were caught at that time, like after like 5 minutes after, you know, we set off, the Turkish guards, you know, came and everybody was arrested.
From the coast that you set up?
Yeah, so like, you know, for the Turkish, like near Bodrum. It was packed, you know, the dinghy was packed. It was, you know, one of the most scariest moments, you know, since I left Syria. And then we were detained, taken to prison. Just asked, you know, very kind of general questions about where you are from and why you're traveling and stuff like that. A few hours later, we were released. Went back to the same smuggler who came with another boat this time.
What happened to the yacht?
Oh, it was gone. So, sorry, there's miscommunication and stuff like that. They were lying anyway. So he said, I promise this time it's gonna be, you know, a boat, a proper boat. And yeah, we eventually came with you know, a fishing boat. In the basement of the boat, mostly were Afghans and Africans, unfortunately. Because even there you see discrimination.
Oh.
It was really sad because like there's no air. It was really hard and I felt so sorry. Now mostly like Syrians and others, you know, were on the top, where they could breathe fresh air, was fine, but still was really hard. And it was difficult, it was really challenging. It was dawn, we set off, and after almost 3 hours we made it to Greece, Kos Island. We were so happy, everybody. We started, you know, hugging each other, kissing each other. It was a moment kind of, you know, of a great joy because we made it to safety.
This moment reminds me of some Western journalists who went to these islands and tried to capture photos and videos of those arriving on the islands. What do you think of that? Was that ethical? Did that bother you? Did you see any of that?
One of some of the disturbing experiences that I had after we arrived in Greece was a few journalists who approached one of the boats, took a couple of young people from their boat to a nearby restaurant, bought them a drink, lunch. Later on, like probably a week, I saw headlines in the UK and beyond about holidaymakers are complaining about refugees coming and ruining their holidays. You know, they're coming to this restaurant, and it was this really, really sad.
I believe that the media, let's talk about the Western media, started talking and tackling and raising awareness about the refugee crisis when it reached its shores, because the refugee crisis has been going for 2-3 years before the picture of Aylan Kurdi goes viral. And when things came closer to Europe, that's when it became a matter of interest and it became the global refugee crisis.
Well, I think that's quite normal, to be fair, like, because if something is so far away, it might not be of an interest to some people. It's just somewhere, some desperate human beings really having a hard time somewhere quite distant. But when it's in your backyard, they are there already, then it kind of people start to realize, no, it's here now, let's do something. The first day I arrived in this country, it was summer, late June 2015. Back in the region it was scorcher, probably 45, 50 degrees. Here it was raining. This was the first massive, huge cultural shock. It's like, it's summer and it's raining. I said, okay, that's good. One of my first days, I was walking down the street and everyone was driving on the wrong side. For me, it was like the wrong. I was shocked. I didn't know how to cross. How to go about the roundabout. Everything was different, really different.